Namaste and welcome to the 12th session of the India Tourism Mumbai's storytelling series by the regional level guides of Western region. Over the last 1 month, we have had our expert storytellers take us on a virtual tour to many interesting places and share their deep knowledge with us. In fact, they have introduced to us very some of the lesser known and unknown facts and also shared various experiences that really have enticed many of us to think of traveling to such places once things are normal. And this is in itself is a great achievement when we look into this initiative of ours to have the storytelling by the regional level guides in our region. In fact, our story today is again a very unique one. This is titled The Ancient and Modern Water Bodies and Reservoirs of Gujarat. In fact, what these bodies and reservoirs have to do with Gujarat. In fact, our storyteller will tell us how these are integral part of the tourist itineraries and experiences. In fact, when we travel across India, we can see a lot of archaeological evidences which establish the fact that the practice of water conservation was well known to Indians from the time immemorial. In fact, Gujarat in itself has excavations dating back to the Indus Valley civilization, especially the settlement in Dholavira, which was laid out on a slope between two stormwater channels. Again, a great example of water engineering. And if I go down south in Tamil Nadu, the Chola king Karikala built the Grand Anakat or the Kallanai across the river Kaveri to divert water for irrigation, and this is still functional. Why I am bringing this is to say that the system of water conservation and management was known to us across India, and in fact, uh, King Bhoja in Bhopal had built the largest artificial lake in India. So the state of Gujarat is endowed with many such water bodies, and especially while traveling across India, we can come across what we call as valves, the step wells, which are in and marvels themselves, and in fact, a couple of them are also World Heritage sites. And while traveling to such destinations and seeing with wonder what this traditional conservation system offers, they also give us a lot of lessons in the modern times to understand the system of water conservation. To tell the story about the ancient and modern water bodies and reservoirs of Gujarat, we have Miss Kavi Rawal. Kavi is one of the senior guides based out of Ahmedabad. She has been guiding um, from almost 2006 when she got her uh, license from the Ministry of Tourism. And Kavi has traveled across Gujarat and other places also. And she is a passionate traveler. When she is not working, she is traveling most of the time, and she has kind of done her journeys and across the across the country. With this, I now invite Kavi to take us on this virtual journey and tell us the story about the ancient and modern water bodies of Gujarat. Over to you, Kavi.
To fix the stone. Next, please. This is the inner part, like the water tank only, where you can see the whole structure with the interlocking system. And you can also see there are temples and other carvings inside the tank also. Apart from the main sun temple, there are other small temples inside the tank also. And you can also see you can also see the reflection of the temples in the water. Next, please. Next slide. Yeah. Now this is one of the temples in the water, which is built with interlocking system and sandstone. Again, like as you know, sandstone is not from Modera. So before 1000 years, when they built the temple, they would have brought the sandstone from far away. It would have taken too long, and they would have brought everything through camels and everything, and many people would have worked on the temple. Again, like if you see the carving of the dome, the carving of the top, it's a very fine and sharp carving. So sandstone, as you know, is a fragile stone. To make such a sharp carving in sandstone is difficult, or you can say you need to have a very much, you need to be very much artistically skilled to make such a sharp carving, because sandstone is a fragile stone. So just a wrong push or a wrong push will damage the whole carving, will damage the whole structure. So you need to be very much artistically skilled to do carving on sandstone, as sandstone is a delicate stone. Next slide. So friends, as we know that it's a sandstone structure built with interlocking system, and still the whole structure is standing after 1000 years, after bearing a few earthquakes. Next. Now in the tank, as we discussed, there are some carvings also, some statues also. In India, on the temple, at many other structure, you will find carvings of god and goddesses on the wall. You will find the carving of dancing ladies. So these dancing ladies are apsaras, and apsaras are the dancers of heaven. Next, please. So again, we are at the temple with the small temples inside the tank. Generally, in India, you will find the tank with temple, because it is preferable to take bath before entering into the temple. Because when you take bath, it makes you clean, it makes you pure. And when you are clean, when you are pure, you can get blessing better, you can get energy better from the God or from the source of energy. That is the reason why it is preferable to take bath, and that is the reason generally they make tanks or bathing arrangement with the temple. And sometimes, previous one please, yeah, sometimes tourists have questions like why we worship sun, why we worship, like, that is our culture. In our culture we have god and goddesses, but apart from god and goddesses, we also worship sun, we worship moon, we worship water, we worship plants, because these all elements supports our life. And these elements supports our life, and this is a way to pay respect to the elements which supports our life. That is the reason we worship sun. Next slide please. So there are there in so many temples inside the tank. I would like to show you one temple. There is the carving of Lord Vishnu is there inside the temple. You can see the temple and the carving here inside. Lord Vishnu is sleeping on Sesnag. Lord Vishnu here is sleeping on 1,000-hooded serpent. So in our mythology or in our religious texts, book, according to our religious books, Lord Vishnu lives in the ocean and he sleeps like this on 1,000-hooded serpent. So near water, generally, you would find such statues or images of Lord Vishnu. Next slide, please. So friends, this was about the tank where the source of water is rainwater. And before we move to the next destination, let me tell you, the temple is scientifically built here in such a way that during equinox, the first ray of sun would fall into the sanctum and the whole structure would glow. Next, please. Next slide. And still today it happens. So it again makes you feel very much proudful that before 1,000 years also you had such system, you had knowledge about architecture, you had knowledge about astronomy, you had knowledge about tropical lines, and you really executed that knowledge by making temples like Sun Temple. Next. So friends, now at present we are at Haveli. Haveli generally means a residence. So Haveli generally is a big residence of rich people or merchant, which is generally bigger than ordinary houses and smaller than palaces. You can see here the use of wood with the Haveli, and you can also see the Haveli or the house is built on a platform, because in old days there used to be floods, and to prevent the flood water entering into the house, they used to make houses on the platform. Next. So next slide, we are at Haveli, Divanji's Haveli, and you can see very beautiful wooden carving in the Haveli, and you can see the swing and sitting arrangement at the Haveli. The swing here is known as Hichko in Gujarati, which is a very important feature of Gujarati traditional houses. Now we are here to understand rainwater harvesting system, because today we get water at our places through pipeline, but earlier there was no such system. People used to go to river or wells to bring water. But apart from that, next slide, people used to have rainwater harvesting system also at their places. So you can see here on the first slide above, there is a ladder, and in front of ladder there is a pipe, which is shown in different slide here. So the original pipe would be of copper or any other metal, but they have replaced it. Through the pipe, the rainwater will be stored in the tank underground, which has been shown in the slide below here. So that is an underground water tank where the rainwater would be stored, and that water can be used later on whenever needed. Next. So friends, now we are at another place called Hati Singh Jain Temple. Here also we will see the rainwater harvesting system only. But before we enter into the temple, let me tell you, the temple is also built with sandstone, and it is very much known for the carving of galleries and windows. And you can see here, central windows are gold plated. Next, please.
Kavi, where is this temple?
In Ahmedabad only. Right. So inside the temple, you can see there is a pipe. It's a copper pipe through which the rainwater will be collected in the underground tank. So you can see the place, the whole on the ground, there is an underground tank here, yes. And that is a big tank actually, where rainwater can be stored up whole season and can be used throughout the year later on. So you can see the pipe here is made of copper, and the water tank would have the walls of water tank would have plaster of lime inside. So lime would not allow the germs to grow in the water, so water would remain useful for a longer period of the time. Next. So friends, till now we saw the tank and rainwater harvesting system. At present, we are at Adalaj, and this is Adalaj step well, where the water, we will learn about underground water. So here is a step well, and generally, you know, well is a water body with underground water, while step well is a bigger well with, you can say, steps. So well with the steps is known as a step well, and it is generally bigger than ordinary wells. And here you can see very beautiful carving, architecture, very beautiful structure of the step well. So it gives a very beautiful view. Adalaj step well is located in Adalaj village, so it is known as Adalaj step well. Here in the center wall, there is a statue actually of Lord Ganesha, with his two wives, Riddhi and Siddhi. Generally, we worship Lord Ganesha when we start something, because Lord Ganesha is the god of good luck and success. So whatever work we do, we start with the worship of Lord Ganesha to get success in the work. Next slide. Next slide, please. Now here is the entry of the step well. So you can see the steps through which we can enter into the step well, and it has 3-side entry. Next, please. Next, yeah. So here is the panoramic view. You can see it has entry from 3 sides. Actually, generally wells are of 4 major types: Nanda, Bhadra, Jaya and Vijaya. While this step well is of Jaya style. And here you can see very like the galleries and small rooms about which we will talk later. But it has three entrance, and this step well was built in 1499 by Queen Rudabai. So before 5 to 600-year old step well this is. And this step well was also built with interlocking system. This is 5-storied step well, 75.3 meter deep, and this is also made of sandstone. Next, please. So here again, you can see how the steps have been joined with interlocking system without using any binding material like cement, sand or lime. Just once you here with the pillar also, you can see the pillar, one is the stone of pillar is standing on other stone with lock and key system. And after 500-600 years also, after observing a few earthquakes, the structure is still standing. And like when there were earthquakes, many new buildings were collapsed, but all structures are still intact, and that is how we can say how good the interlocking system was or is. Next, please. Now, as we were talking, there are 3 entries, and you can see on the central steps, both the side there are galleries and there are small rooms. So there are 4 galleries. 3 are the difference I'll tell you later at the end. Please ask me the question at the end. Let me complete the session. Okay. So you can see like there are galleries, and there are 4 galleries. 3 are visible here, and beside the gallery there is an entrance. There are entrances. So there is a cabin or a small room kind of arrangement where tourist or a villager or traveler can come, can sit and can rest. Next, please. So here now you can see both the side of the step there are small rooms and there are galleries, and galleries are there with carving. So you can see the beautiful carvings on the gallery, and there is the on the both side of the steps you can see the gate of the small room. Next, please. So from the another side of the gallery where there is a light, you can see there is an entrance, and it's like a small room, so people can sit there, villagers, travelers can sit there. Generally, step wells were built in the outskirts of the villages or towns. So villagers can also use it and travelers can also use it. The main use of the step well was, of course, water. It was used for water, but it was also used for meeting place of villagers or the travelers and resting place also. Next, please. Now here is the entry of the like the small room where you can see the Kirti Mokha, face of lions are carved, these conchis are carved, flowers are carved. So beautiful carving is there, and sandstone is very clearly visible here. Next, please. Now this is the opposite part of the steps which we already saw. On the right side, you can see there is a place where the flowers, the flowers and flowers are offered, because there is an image of horse. And in old days, horse was the mode of transport. And it's in our culture, friends, like today also when we buy a new car, we offer flowers, we decorate it with flowers, we do we means we do puja, we do a ceremony of worshipping. And that is how the horses are also worshipped, as horses are the mode of transport, and still the local people offer flowers to the statue there. Next please. Now we are going down to the step well, and again you can see the beautiful carving everywhere. Next please. Again we are going down. Next please. Next please. This is the structure when we go down. Now here, like on one of the passage or ceiling, there is a carving of horse, and on the both side of horse there is a very beautiful freehand kind of design. So again, to make such sharp carving in sandstone, as we discussed, is very difficult. Above it you can see the flower design of flowers is also there. Now you can see like the artist used to get influence from the daily life. So before 500-600 years, they used to use horses, elephants, people, rituals. That is what they used to observe. And they used to carve things, or used to make carving of the things which they used to use. So here they have carved horse. Next please. Here again you can see the same image, which is little zoomed. It is little blur because I've taken photos from the mobile. Next please. Now here again there is an image of elephant here, and we are going further down. Next please. There is a very beautiful carving in the step well. You can see a freehand style design, and to make such design in sandstone, as we discussed, is again very difficult. And it's a very beautiful carving. I can't remain without admiring. Next please. You can see there are a few more such windows and few more such carvings in the step well. Next please. Now here again in the center you can see the face of lion, Kirti Mukha, which is a royal symbol actually. Above the lion's face you can see the image of human beings. So like you can see in the center, the king is sitting with his servants, and on the left side, like wherever you are sitting, it's on your left, you can see people are celebrating and doing their celebration. On your right side, you can see people are churning very next to the king on right side. So churning actually is the process of separating butter from buttermilk. And that is how they used to churn and used to separate butter from buttermilk in old days. So that image is very interesting and it is carved there. Next slide, please. Now we are going further down. So next, please. Previous one. I'm sorry, ma'am. I want to go to yeah. So you can see the first two stories, which are renovated because of like some damage and everything. But when the step well was built, the water level was up to second level, and this is a 5-storied step well. So there are 2 stories visible from here, first and second. Next, please. And next slide. Yeah, and there are 3 upper stories are visible from here. So total 5 stories are there. Next, please. Yeah, you can see the structure in a better way with a photograph here. And next, please. The same step well photograph from different angle, and all these photos are taken, these two photos also including these photos are taken from mobile only. Next slide, please. Now friends, we were at bottom, and now earlier as we talked, the water level was up to 2 stories, up to 2 level, but right now there is very less water as it is 5 to 600 year old step well. Now we are going back, and you can see the carving on the pillar. uh, uh, Go please, next one please. When you are in bottom, and when you, this is like not with mobile, this photograph is little tricky, but from the bottom when you look, you will find such structure on the top. Next please. Now we are on the like top story again. You can see the pillars are 100% carved. You can see beautiful carving also. Next please. Now we are going to the top of the step well, and next please, when you go further here, next, you will find the staircase, spiral staircase, where on your left side you will see the staircase is covered. This is covered because sometimes school children come here in picnic and they make everything noisy and go down with the staircase. So government has closed it, but originally it was like the staircase on right side, which is of another step well, but it is very much similar. So to give you the idea, I have put the image here. So through the staircase you can go to the lower level. So there are steps from the entrance. From there also you can go down, and from this spiral staircase also you can go down. But from the steps at the entrance you can go down till the bottom, but from here you can go up to third level only, because till 2 level there was water. Next please. So at lower level here there is an exit of the spiral staircase, so you can see how the exit is. Next please. Now friends, this is another step well, Mata Bhavani step well, and this step well is dedicated to goddess Bhavani. So you can see the saris are hanging here, flowers are hanging. So these saris and flowers are offered to goddess Bhavani. And again, this is the beauty of our culture, that we relate everything with the god and goddesses, and everything, we relate everything with the Almighty. And actually, if you see, everything is related to the Almighty. Everything is there as a part of Almighty. So you can see the step well here, which is dedicated to Goddess Bhavani. Next, please. We are going further to the same step well, and this when you will go further, you will find the structure like this. Next, please. Again, like if we are further down, and in the center here you can see there is a temple which is very small because we are at the distance, where the statue or icon of goddess Bhavani is there. Next please. Now friends, we are at another step well, Queen step well. This is at Patan, and Patan was the capital of Gujarat for 600 years before 1411. And this step well is built by Queen Udaymati in memory of her husband, King Bhimdev. King Bhimdev was the king who built Sun Temple. So this temple is built by the wife of Bhimdev in memory of her husband. But you can see, you saw that the previous step well, Adalat step well, was also built by a queen. And this step well is also built by the queen. So we can, before 1,000 years also, how visionary the ladies were. They used to make useful structure so people can get benefit, people can get water, And they were so much visionary that they made the structure so beautiful that we are still going and visiting the places, we are still admiring the structure, and we are still admiring the maker. So friends, this temple is built in last quarter of 11th century. So again, almost 1000-year-old structure. This temple is 7-storied temple, and this is also built in sandstone with interlocking system of the stone. Next, please. This is another photograph of the same step well, and you can see how glorious, how beautiful the carving is, how beautiful the step well is. And because of such beautiful, wonderful carving and structure, the step well today is a World Heritage Site. Next, please. This is also the part of the same step well. You can see the pillars have carving everywhere on the walls also. They have carving. And next, please. Uh, the 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 step well actually is 100. Actually, the step well was 100% carved when it was built, and still there are many beautiful carvings inside the step well. We will talk about few carvings. Here, the on the left, first carving is of you can see Varaha avatar here, and on the right you can see Vaman avatar. These both are the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, which are carved in the step well. Next, please. Here in the center, you can see the image of Padmapani. Padmapani is a Buddhist image, and Pani means hand and Padma means flower. So the image means the person has lotus in his hand, so the person is known as Padmapani. This is a Buddhist figure, and Padmapani is a person who has potential of becoming Buddha. So he is a person who is one step lower the Buddhahood. He'll become Buddha, and as it is carved in the step well, we can imagine that before 1000 years in Gujarat, in Patan, Buddhism and Jainism was also prevailing, and that is the evidence here that the image of Padmapani is here. Both side of the Padmapani, you can see the dancing ladies, which are apsaras, and you can see they have very good decoration, ornaments and everything. Next, please. We can see it from closer. So you can see the faces. Both the apsaras have different expression on their faces. Sorry, they have different expressions on their faces. So that is the art, to make a figure, and to make that figure expressive is something very different. And that proves that how good artists were who made this step well, that they have made the figure or they have made the faces expressive. There are so many images in the step well, and all images have different expression on their faces. So this is, you can enjoy the element of art with the carving here. Next, please. Here on the left, you can see Hanuman, which is again the character of Lord of Ramayana, and on the right side you can see Lord Rama. Next, please. On left side here you can see the carving of Balram, who was the older brother of Lord Krishna, and again on the right side you can see a dancing lady. Next, please. Now friends, here you can see some patterns, because these patterns are of patola sari, because Patan was and is very much famous for double ikat patola making. This is the speciality of pattern only, and it's a very you can see it's a very specific technique. While you want to, like, if you want to understand the technique, patolas are always in pure silk, and each and every thread of warp and weft have design on it with tie and dye technique. And then the threads are arranged on loom, and then those threads are woven in such a way that designs would come out on the material. So you can understand, to tie and dye strings and then to give design to each and every string of warp and weft is such a lengthy procedure. Then to arrange it on the loom, then you will weave it, and to dye technique itself is a lengthy technique. So it to make one saree it takes around 6 months or more also, depending on the design. Next please. You can see the next same patola design from closer. Next please. Now this is patola saree. Next please. Now coming back to our topic again. Again here on this tape you can see on the left side there is a gap where the another stone can be fixed, and on your right you can see they have fixed the another stone. So this is also the good example of lock and key system. Next please. Next slide. Yeah, here also there is a broken pillar, which is also a good example to understand, because it also has fixing gaps where the other stone can be fixed and it will be joined like lock and key. Next please. Now this is the pillar, and you can see there are designs on pillars. There is kalasa, which is a water pot. So every pillar has carving. Next please. Friends, you can see here that this part is uncarved, but we learned earlier that the step well is 100% or was 100% carved. So why the uncarved part here? Because in 11th century onwards, Saraswati river used to flow from Patan, and there used to be frequent flood. And because of the flood, the whole step well was hidden with mud and dirt and dust and everything. So the step well was hidden. But as government knew that there was such step well here, they rediscovered the step well after the independence. So this part which is uncarved here is renovated part. Next please. You can see the inner wall of the step well, which is which has better carving, not 100%, as it is all, some pieces are destroyed, taken away or whatever, but you can still see good carving here. Next please. This is also, you can see the whole structure, and the image of this step well, this image is there on new currency note of 100 rupees. Next please. Next please. Now friends, we are at another destination, which is Dholavira, and this is an Indus Valley civilization. So here you can see the script, which is not readable at present, but before 4,000-5,000 years, the civilization used to use such script. Next please. Now friends, this is one of the entrances. If you will see the structure, the stones, they have to make structure, they have used stones and clay. And if you will look at all old civilization, you will notice there's that all old civilizations were established near river or wherever the water was available, because water is very much essential for any civilization to develop or to survive. Without water they cannot survive. So all the civilization of the world you will find were established near the water. And here Indus River used to flow from here, and as we learned, this is 4 to 5,000 year old civilization. So friends, before 4 to 5,000 years, when many countries were like America, Australia were not existing, or like many countries who were like living in a traditional, in a tribal ways, they were not having civilization. We had development, we had city management, we had architecture, we had water management, and that everything we had, we also used to have access to different countries, as the evidence have been found in the excavation that we used to do trading with different countries and different cultures through waterway, through the sea and everything. So we had access to other countries also before 4 to 5,000 years too. Next, please. Now, friends, here there are two tanks for the water which have been excavated. One tank is with steps and another one is without step. Next, please. This is a well without step, just an ordinary well with underground water. And at the site, you will find quite a few such step well. Sorry, quite a few such wells without step. With underground means the source of water was underground water, but not a very big or wonderful wells like we saw, but ordinary wells. Next, please. Now, friends, on the left side, you can see some structure, broken ruins. Broken structure, ruins are there, which was the structure of the town. And here you can see channels. So these were the canals through which the rainwater was directed to the tank which they had constructed outside the town to store rainwater. Next, please. So here you can see the big tanks are there. You can see there is someone inside the tank, and you can see how big the tank is, as the human figure is very small. So you can see it's a big tank with step, and there were 4 tanks in all 4 directions where they used to store rainwater, and they which can be used later on whenever needed throughout the years. Apart from this, Indus River also used to flow. The ocean was also near. Next, please. Near the excavated site, there is a museum also, where they have described about the site, about its excavation, about the water management. And next, please. And some like pieces which have been found in the excavation are also kept in the museum. Next, please. 12 kilometers away from the excavated site, there is a fossil park also. So some fossils are kept there, but on the right side behind the fossils, you can see water. Next, please. This water actually is melted salt. On your left photograph, you can see the water. The water actually is melted salt. On right side, you can see actually this is white desert. So just be near the excavated site or the fossil park, you can see the unique white desert, because and it is very unique way, and it's worth visiting. Anyone must visit the white desert at least once in whole life. So It is believed before many hundred years there was an ocean which has been, yes, yes. So, so before many hundred years, there was the ocean which has been sifted back now, and because the ocean has been sifted back, it has become the white desert made of salt instead of sand. Next, please. Friends, our topic is about water bodies. But when we are with tourists, when we visit monument or whatever, tourists also like to know about the culture, about something which they know on the way. So when you go to Dholavira or at White Desert, you will find local peoples and villages who are living in traditional way, who are living traditional life in traditional way with traditional outfit. So here you can see a lady with bindi on her forehead, with very traditional earrings, very traditional outfit, and you can see the tattoos on her hand, silver rings on her finger. You can see the bangle which she is wearing. Actually, it's ivory. Ivory is bent today, but like in past, in India, we used to use ivory in a very good way. Like we used to make carvings. We used to use ivory as ornament, etc. So she would have got this bangle from her ancestor, which she is using now. Next, please. On the way, you can also find nomads, and it is very interesting to see nomads on the way. Nomads are people who keep roaming for 8 months of year from one place to another, and in search of work or whatever, like food, work, whatever. So wherever they get work, they stay for a while or whatever period necessary, whatever period it is needed, and they again start moving. So this is a nomadic lady with the household thing on camel. You can see beds are there. Okay, one means bed is there, and there are few other things with kids on the camel. So this is very interesting to see nomads on the way while you are traveling. Next, please. This is the black clothes because this is the traditional style. In Ahir and Rabari, you will find the use of red and black more. Okay. On the way, no, previous one, please. On the way, you will also find migratory birds who come here and stay here for some period. Next, please. Now, friends, we are at Ahmedabad, and Ahmedabad is the biggest city of Gujarat with around 6 million people living in it. So our capital, political capital is Gandhinagar, but our commercial capital or real capital, you can say, is Ahmedabad. This is Sabarmati River. It has 8 bridges on it, and it originates from Narmada River. On the banks, on both sides, government has built riverfront. So now we are looking to modern water bodies of Gujarat. Next, please. So this beautiful riverfront is built because earlier, because of uncertainty of rain and everything, there was very less water in the river, and it was giving an ugly look to the city. Now the water here is manageable water. So the river at present is now like a canal, and it gives very beautiful look to the first World Heritage City of India, Ahmedabad. So on the riverfront, you can see there is there are places where like people can sit, people can do jogging, they can do cycling. On the steps, like here, there are gardens, there are arrangement where you can do exhibitions, etc. In the evening, they have boating facilities, etc. are also there. Next, please. So here is a park. Next, please. And recently, friends, government has launched seaplane. There are a few more seaplane projects are in pipeline, but this is the very first seaplane project of India. And the water aerodrome. Water aerodrome is there on the Sabarmati river only, from where you can go to Statue of Unity, and you can, which is around 200. This is around Statue of Unity is around 200 kilometer away from Ahmedabad, where you can go through seaplane. Statue of Unity, next please. It is actually built at Sardar Sarovar Dam near Narmada River. So over there also, there are two important water bodies are there. Next please. And as Narmada is the biggest river of Gujarat, and Sardar Sarovar Dam is a very important dam of Gujarat, because majority of Gujarat gets water from Sardar Sarovar Dam. Now you can see the statue here. That is the Statue of Unity, the longest statue of the world at present. It is built in the memory of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was the first Home Minister of Gujarat. And because he was a very firm man, he is known for taking the firm decision. Because of his firm decisions, he is known as Iron Man of India. And because he is known as Iron Man of India, the statue is made of iron. And the statue is known as Statue of Unity, because Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel has played the major role in uniting India. Means he convinced all the kings to dissolve their power under Indian governance, under Indian government and Indian governance of Indian government. So, okay, Meher rivers and those both rivers were also there, but Indus river was also there, but Meher and all both rivers were more near than Indus, but Indus was also there. Okay. Okay, so we are talking Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel played a major or important role in convincing kings to dissolve their power. So his statue is known as Statue of Unity. Next, please. So near the statue of Sardar Sarovar, there is a gallery where there is the exhibition where they have description about the statue, about the Narmada river, about Sardar Sarovar Dam, about the local areas, about the neighborhood areas, and about the neighborhood things. So they have description nearby. Apart from that gallery, near Statue of Unity, you have tented accommodation, you have Valley of Flowers, you have Butterfly Garden. So there are many other attractions near Statue of Unity, where tented accommodation is also there. So people can stay there for a couple of days if wanted, and they can spend the whole day over there. Now friends, here, the biggest water body which Gujarat has is Arabian Sea. Gujarat has the biggest coastline of India, and Gujarat is a peninsula surrounded by water from three sides. So you can see on the coastline also there are some attraction, tourist attraction, and some interesting places out of which I have covered 2-3 places because to cover all was not possible. So next please. Friends, this is Narara Marine National Park, which is 50 to 60 kilometer away from Jamnagar, where you can see marine life. Next please. So you can see marine life at Marine National Park, which is very much advisable for special interest tourists. But for general interest tourists, this is not that much advisable because the sighting depends on specific timing of tide and ebb. And timings keep changing every day according to the sunrise and sunset. So, and there is no accommodation near Narora. The nearest accommodation you can find is at Jamnagar, which is 50-60 kilometer away. So you have to come, if you want to reach here at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, you have to leave 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock from Jamnagar. So it's not that, and there is no facilities for food and everything near the site. So this is a very good place for special interest tourists who are studying about marine life or whatever, who have keen interest in marine life only. But for the leisure tourists, for general interest tourists, it would not be that convenient or that comfortable to visit. Next place. Next slide. Now, friends, friends, these are two very important pilgrimages of Gujarat. The first one on the left is Dwarka, which was capital of Lord Krishna. And apart from Arabian Sea, Gomti River also flows from there. So this was the capital of Lord Krishna, and that is why you can see this is one of the main pilgrimages of India. On your right, there is a pillar, and beside the pillar there is the temple, Somnath Temple, and Somnath Temple is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. So this is also a very important Lord Shiva's temple, and the pillar here is the pillar of the side of one side of the Somnath temple, from where there is nothing in between the pillar and Somnath temple, like in Arabia in South Pole. So here is the pillar and temple, and there is nothing between South Pole, between those places. So there is throughout Arabian Sea is there till the end of the globe. Next, please. Now, 80 kilometer away from 80 kilometer away from the Somnath temple, Diu is there. Diu is geographically on the map of Gujarat, but politically it is under the authority of central government. So it is an union territory. Diu is an island. So in Diu, everywhere you will find water. There are many beaches, and you will find water everywhere. People enjoy there. It's people go there for weekends. They go to enjoy there, and in Diu you will find many structures, construction of Portuguese style. You will find, because Diu was a Portuguese territory and it got independence in 1960, not in 1947. So there are people of Portuguese original still living in Diu, and who like a person who is origin of the by birth gets the passport of means by birth he gets the Portuguese passport. So here you can see Portuguese structure. Next, please. So friends, I have explained, like I have tried to cover major places, but on the coastline there are many villages which are means many villages are fully dependent on fishing, and in those villages when you are on the way, you can see harbor, you can see people doing fishing, going for fishing, and you can see like people going, coming, and you can see the life and lifestyle of fishermen, which is also very interesting. So thank you. Next, please. So friends, I could have covered a few more places because there are many more things, but because I was given the time limit of 45 minutes, I have tried to cover important places and feature related to those places. If you have any query, if you want to know something, you can always ask me. My phone numbers are here. My phone numbers are here. My email address is there. My email address is there. So please feel free to contact me for anything related to Gujarat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Kavi. That was an amazing
Yes, sir.
journey. We initially were looking at the water bodies, but then it was so exhaustive that you have virtually taken us all the way from Ahmedabad to the Kutch extreme and also touched Diu, and just spoke not only about the stepwells, you've spoken about oceans, you've spoken about rivers, you've spoken about all kind of water bodies that are there. And Gujarat, as you say, is quite magical. And thank you for bringing in the
Thank you,
important
sir.
element of Narara, the marine park, which is lesser known and not really popular, but it has got great
If any
potential.
people had some questions, sir, if they want to ask, I'm
Yeah,
ready
we
to
can.
answer.
Yeah, we can take. There are questions in the chat.
Yeah.
We can take that, and of course, uh, the Gujarat also has a blue flag uh, beach, which is the Shivrajpur beach, which is again another great achievement. So it is really a great effort, and we appreciate you putting together so many slides, almost 90 slides that I was counting, and you could keep the time narrating about each of the slides. Very extensive,
Thank
and
you very
I
much.
really thank you for accepting our invitation and to conduct this webinar. And let me see if there is any questions.
Someone had question about the step
Yeah,
well. When I told that
yeah.
there
There's
are
Tapan.
four major types, Nanda, Bhadra, Jaya, and Vijaya, Mr. Amod had question. Amod, are you there?
Hmm.
Okay. So Amod had question that what is the difference in these step wells? So main four types of the step well is Nanda, Bhadra, Jaya, and Vijaya. In Nanda style, there is the entry from one side. Bhadra entry from three side. Bhadra entry from two side. Vijaya entry from three side, and Nanda entry from one side. Bhadra entry from two side. Jaya entry from three side, and Vijaya entry from four side. So this is the difference in four major types of the step well. There were other questions, other people also used. Yeah, someone was telling about two rivers which were very near to the, and I told it's in the okay. So let me tell you, these two rivers were also there, which were originated from Indus River. So Indus River was also very near, and these two rivers were the branches actually of Indus River only. Yeah, there were some more questions
Yeah,
which I couldn't answer
Tapan
because
has
I
asked,
was
at Rani Ki Vav, there is an image of Padmapani along with two Apsaras. Will you
Ji.
explain this contradiction of Buddhism with beauty?
Okay. See, in Rani Ki Vav, they have like only one image related to Buddhism. Most of other images are of Hinduism only. So, because we can imagine that like Hinduism or the Vedic Dharma was the main religion, but it was the introduction of Buddhism. So Buddhism was not very much prevailing, but it was there. It was introduced to the culture, and to express the introduction or to express the Buddhism is also prevailing there. They have carved one Buddhist image also. Any other questions, sir?
No, I think most of you have covered these questions, and we really kind of once again thank you, Miss Kavi, for
Thank you
taking
very
this
much. I want
effort.
to say this is my first webinar. I am not an expert, so please let go my mistake, if any. All viewers, thank you for being so patient with me.
Absolutely, and I also would like to thank at this point Parul, who was kind of behind, and she patiently uh,
Thank you, Parulji, and thank you
helped
everyone.
pushing the slides. Thank you, Parul.
I also
And
had to explain very fast. When we are with tourists, we do it slowly. And when we are tourists, we would know the interest of the tourists. We would talk according to the interest of tourists. Well, here there was no one, so I had to talk about everything and not too much. So I tried to cover everything, like not too much, but some points.
no, no, this was very comprehensive. And to again, I would